So with that being said, let's get stuck in. Tan, great to see you. Jackie boy, great to have you as always, bro. Let's get stuck in. Today, we're going to do Q&A. And we're also going to talk about some new changes, and we're also going to talk about a bit of time management as well, and then whatever people want to talk about. So I'm going to, first and foremost, for those of you who just jumped on, I'm going to put in some poll options next week. Thought we'd leave it up to the last couple of weeks to see if people wanted to talk about a specific topic, then get the voting going. Didn't have much interaction. I know all of you guys are busy, but again, I'm going to come in and offer some juicy tasks for the next couple of weeks after this. So there's update number one. Update number two, I think a few of you know about this because I've spoken to you one-on-one. We have our first coach, another superstar, coming on board with me. Now, this is something that I do not take lightly. It's been taking years for this to happen. And this person is someone who has also grown a $500,000 fitness business. He's one of my best friends. So it will be very unlikely, I would say, that more coaches would come on after, because it's very, very hard for me to not be involved with all of you guys. I literally love working with all you guys, but our new coach who will be coming on board will be present soon, and you'll all be able to meet him. So that's super exciting. Now, with that being said as well, I had a chat about this with Nath, and I did mention this morning with you, Tane, as well. I want this Q&A to kickstart with your answers on this question. So I'm going to ask you a question. I have found recently that when we do things community or when we do things as a whole, as a group, there is more community, and it adds more accountability for you guys to take action. I've thought about doing this. I've thought about it, but you speak and you win. I'm not going to do this based on what I think. It's up to you guys. I've thought about automating marketing to take workload off your guys' plates, right? So automating marketing so that every single Pinnacle client runs the same marketing at the same time, so we can have more of the same stuff that is discussed, all the same questions that you guys have, we can use. And I could potentially add another webinar in, which is to discuss the marketing for each of the weeks. So obviously, Ray, you've stressed that you love them, but the webinars, does everyone like the webinars? I love seeing you guys. Hopefully you do. But I've thought about automating marketing, so you guys don't even need to think about what marketing strategy you run. I create a company marketing loop, and basically as a unit, we execute in each of your individual gyms all across the world the same shit each week. It takes away the pressure of you having to think about what I have to do for myself, what do I need to do marketing wise, and me also trying to create, okay, what marketing strategies did they do last, etc., etc. Now, that's what I'm thinking, right? Any thoughts, questions about that? Because for me, it helps me go and see you guys more in person. I like doing that. And I've said this to Tane this morning, bro. I think I said this to you. No one will ever here not be working with me. I just want to stress that. You are all working with me, one-on-one, always. Never will I work away from that. I'm too obsessed, and I love you all too much. So that will not happen. But I'm thinking of doing an element where our marketing can be automated as a unit. So therefore, we can focus all together on running the same thing at the same time and play each other off our numbers and motivate each other. Some thoughts and feedback on that. Nate, can you start us, bro? Because you gave me your
Yeah, sure. I think it's a good idea. I think it's really good. Point being that the Christmas or the New Year's marketing strategy, we can all bounce off ideas. We're all in this together, and we're all marketing to the same type of people, Gen Pop, blah, blah, blah. So to run the same strategies around the same time together, someone's going to do something different, and we're all going to, we'll have our own tweaks on the same strategy. And I don't know, for example, Michael might be doing something that I'm not, that would be congruent with me. But, okay, that's a little twist on the strategy that I don't know about. I'm going to do that and it'll work better for me, as an example. And we all pretty bounce off each other really well when we do communicate. And I think the community is getting a bit better, especially in your group now that someone's messaging and whatnot, and we all are bouncing different ideas off each other. It's only going to help boost everyone's confidence and everyone's sales and ability to help more people at the end of the day. So I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I think on that as well, that Nate is right. And then again, we'll just kickstart with this topic here, guys, and then we'll get into a Q&A. But this is all for you. Like, I'm really proud of each and every one of you. Like, whenever I see like Tane's post, like Tane did an announcement of bringing his missus on board. There's like all the comments I see are from you. They're all from you guys. Like, you are all so supportive, and I'm blessed to have, you know, been able to initiate these relationships, right? So when you're working and communicating all so well with each other, this thought, so Tash, I think you've just jumped on a little bit late, Erin as well for you, Damien, you might have missed it. We're talking about creating a marketing loop for the entire of Pinnacle. So everyone runs the same stuff together, works with each other together, ask question on another webinar, which I may create, because these ones as well are open forum, these are public, anyone can join. This would be a client only webinar for sure. That only clients can attend, but we work on together, ask questions together. And again, you will always all be working one-on-one with me. You know that. So for example, if you've got someone like Michael, someone like Nate, someone like Tane, someone like Jack, you know, guys that have been working with me for a long time, Charmaine, right? Like, if you aren't able to execute a strategy because you don't know what it is, well, that's when me and you are going to be working with each other. So I'll train you on what to do, etc., etc. And then obviously attend the webinars, and we go through and I automate the whole thing for you. Anyone else got any feedback on that? This is just ideas. It's not something that we're going to set in stone, but any ideas, any feedback on it? Anybody?
I personally think that would be wonderful.
Yeah,
I like that idea. Yeah.
I think so. I think, well, for someone like you, Sue, as well, like you guys are super busy, right? So for you guys, you always though attend the webinars. You're attending with webinars more than you attend Voxer, right? So
Right.
exactly. So I think if there's something else in there which can up attendance even more and give even more accountability for people that prefer, you know, this sort of interaction, I'm all for it. So thank you. I agree.
I think that would be beneficial.
Yeah, I agree. Anyone else?
I think it's great for like people like myself coming on and like seeing like everyone's like their baskets from, you know, for the new year hamper, like just getting the ideas and going with that and seeing all that is just like amazing for a new person coming on board. I think it's great, and it is accountability, because I see someone's go, oh my gosh, I better hurry up and get you know, my ass into gear and get my stuff happening. So yeah, I like it a lot.
Yeah. Look, I think the feedback here, is there anyone who, like, and again, you don't have to publicly like say that's a shit idea, but is there anyone who doesn't think it would be positive? Or if thumbs up if you think it's something that you'd be open to having a look at potentially. Yeah. Okay, cool.
I will say one thing. The only downside I think of is obviously if everything's standardized, then it paves the way for a bit less individual work, depending on if someone's different states, like if someone's got something specific that might be working on, it may make it more difficult there. But in my opinion, if it's something that would overall improve the efficiency of the work we're doing here, I'm always all for it. And I love webinars, so a second webinar, you know, I'm going to be attending that as well.
100%. So this is the thing, bro. Like I said, it's really, really important. Like, especially what I say before is like we have a coach coming on board. Like, everyone is working with me. Nothing changes here, right? So there's obviously a lot of people that, you know, you want a lot more support and stuff like that, or need it. You've got questions coming, you got questions because you're coming on board. That stuff won't change. But what I'm doing it for is potentially to get you guys to, again, join and come together and bounce off each other. Like we did the hamper strategy. And again, there was for example, there was you, Blade. Since then, we've had Blade. Who have we had? Blade, Cara, Ray, Tanya, Tash, Erin, Will, Dimmy, who's here. Hey, Dim, hopefully you're well. Like, all you guys come on board pretty much at that New Year's period, right? And I think like it's kind of the universe showing me, overseeing everything, that when we all came together, the productivity was amazing and you bounced off each other. This is what I've thought about it, right? If I could have the same productivity for every single week, every marketing strategy, and it's not always about comparing it to those freaking hundreds and hundreds of leads that we get at New Year, but it's about questions, yeah? And if it means you guys can have a dedicated specific time, and also I can, where I'm focused on growth tasks and marketing lead generation with you guys, it's just going to boost the quality of service for all of you guys as clients of mine, you know, and that's what I'm trying to do. It's not, I'm not trying to swap that for Voxer. Oh, by the way, guys, you can only get me on this call now. Like, see you later. Like, I'm gone. I'm doing more. I want to do more. You know what I mean? So hopefully, if that all makes sense, guys, we may trial it. I'll have a little look. I'll have a chat with the team, see if we can put it together, try it for a couple of weeks. We'll maybe run 2 strategies. And it gets people into the flow, because what I have seen as well, now we'll start Q&A. When you focus on what you need to focus on in your business, right? Like we've said this before, who wants their business to grow? Everyone, right? If you want your business to grow, the only thing, and it's just a pattern I've seen over the years, that will enable you not to, is if you don't first and foremost have clarity over the numbers, which is business tracking, and then if the numbers aren't there. So it's one of those things. If you're not generating leads, right? A lot of people, I have people all over the world. It's like, okay, I've got 2 consults, or I've got 1 consult for this week. I'm like, bro, you ain't growing this week, right? But he's like, yeah, but I want to grow the business, right? Well, I'm sorry, dude, you ain't growing this week. What do you want me to do? Well, you're going to start chasing leads now in the week that you want to grow it. You know, like, it doesn't work. So it'll put everyone on the page, right? It'll put everyone on the page that we're here as a unit to stay ahead of the 8 ball, right? Not behind it, to make sure that we grow. And I think that it could be a great addition. Zach, great to have you with us, brother. And Alex as well, my man, great to see you, dude. So yeah, guys, that's that. Q&A today. Blade, do you want to kickstart us? Or any questions on that, guys, before we move forward?
My only other thought too would be if we're able, it'd be the exception and not the rule, but like, in circumstances where the marketing's all standardized, but if there's going to be a certain marketing strategy that may benefit one of us individually because of something that's going on within that location. So like, for example, like I said, it'd be the exception, not the rule. But for example, like with us moving gym locations shortly, there might be some sort of marketing strategy that would be a lot better to run during that period.
Awesome. Look, you're dead right. Everything here, the main reason why all of you guys, right, unless you're at the beginning of your journey, have great success and that you make up the top 5% of the industry, right? Whether you're leveraged or fully booked or doing really, really well, is because we have a personalized approach with the consulting that has got you there. There will never not be that. So for example, anything on top, Tane, where we're moving into a new location, right? When they do that up, that's me and you, brother. Do you know what I mean? It's me and you. If anyone's relocating gyms, that sort of stuff, and we need our initial booster strategies where we get, you know, booked before you begin or anything like that, where we're doing, that's all individual. Like, I want to stress, nothing changes here. This is an additional element of structure, which through accountability, I mean, we take how many, there's 20 of us here today. There would be 20 clients that I know this week are bouncing off each other, are glued in, and are kicking ass. That's what I'm talking about. Anything else on top, though, that's all individualized and always will be. Yeah. So yeah, we'll see. I'll have a chat with the team. All right, let's kick things off. Blade, you wanted to talk about time management, and for those of you who came on a little bit late, I'm going to put some poll choices in there next week to save you guys having to create stuff, because we only had 5 people vote. It's too low, right? I want more, so I'll make it easy. You just click what you want. Blade, what do you need, brother?
Right, so what me and you discussed recently was sorting out my ideal week, because I'd only just about got around to doing that now. So that's all done basically. But obviously at the moment I'm averaging, well, now that the New Year's consults are coming out, my consults are relatively low at the moment, week by week. But on top of that, I've only got between 5 and 10 clients. I can't off the top of my head, but I haven't got too many clients because I've got 1 dropped off, 2 coming on. But that's not super booked up there. So obviously my ideal week is about 33 hours or 34 hours of clients and consults, plus a bunch of other things. But obviously, since that's not where I am currently, I was thinking about making a new week, but for where I am at the moment and things I can do to improve my business with where I am right now, basically.
Yeah, this is a really good point. I actually had a chat with a guy in the UK about this morning. I think I was speaking with him about it, and I mentioned to him I could sense that potentially he's not present as much in his business as what he needs to be whilst he has the time, right? So, and I think there's a few of you guys here, right? There's a few of you guys here that I want to really highlight this. So look, you are going to find it really, really enlightening when you do time management for the first time and you're actually, and you're not saying you're not late, but when you're actually really busy, right? When you've got like, say, 30 sessions, right? When you do your time management, you run through stage 6 and we do that stuff, you actually realize how much time you have. And I'm not joking, it's not hard to run a 6-figure business and have all the time in the world. It's not. It comes down to time management. Think about it, guys. All that is 4 hours of PT per day, 4, 8, 16, 20. Multiplied by half-hour sessions that are priced at $60 a session, which is now the going average for us, not 50. It's $2,200 per week. Bang, 20 hours. Now, look, there's travel time. We're going now back-end systems, right, for demo. So there's travel time, right? There's gaps between sessions, right? There's lots of things that can happen. There's your own training, there's marketing, there's calls. Those are things that happen on top of that. But the main point I'm getting to is this: if you're at a busy, non-busy stage in your business, presence in the club is massive. It's really important. Or for someone like Alex, because I always want to give you some juice as well, because the online component of clients is lower than the face-to-face. It's being present online, content, getting out there. You've got to get your shit seen, right? So, and that's ideally what all your new face-to-face guys are working on too. Basically, what I'm saying in short is this: be present in the club, run your floor to the floors the correct way, right? Because we walk the floor correctly as to how the people who don't know how to do it, right? And they burn leads. Hi, baby. Oh, you got a bogey. That's great, isn't it, babe? That's great. You got a bogey. Thanks for that. So basically, what we're talking about now, you want to make sure that your presence, right? Your presence in the club is there, because your presence is what's going to give you more leads. It's going to expose you. And that's what I want you to do. You're going to take that floor walking sheet and you're going to go hit it daily. Even if you feel like you're not doing anything, just being in that gym puts you in the right place at the right time for anything that positively can happen to you. It'll feel like, what else can I do, right? And especially like you, Blade, you're someone who takes a lot of action, right? You take a lot of action. So, dude, it's hard because you're like, what can I do? You know, and I've got a couple of really hungry clients at the moment that are like, man, like what else can I do? I'm like, bro, just trust the process. Like, it's you're fine here. You're fine. But being present is one thing I need everyone to be at that early stage. You guys who are at the early stages. So again, we've got like, again, not to point fingers, but again, early stage clients. We've got Cara, Tanya, Blade, Ray. I would then say as well, Zach, but your workload's quite busy already, bro. Erin as well, potentially. Like Tash as well, but we're getting up there now. Like I think Tash, over $1,000 weeks for Tash now. I think, well done. Congrats, Tash, well done. So it all starting to come. But guys, what do you do, or any of the more experienced guys at the start? Any advice for what people would do to fill in their time?
Make sure you're training in the gym. That's
100% right. Yeah, you've got to be training. If you've got time, if I had time, I'd be a beast. I'd be jacked, but I don't. And I like pizza, so it is what it is. So yeah, train in the gym. That's a great one because that gets you present and like train. Do you wear your shirt when you train, or what do you do, Charmaine? What do you do?
No, I don't wear my shirt. I just train in my normal gym attire. Yeah. I just want to generally have a chat to people if they look like they are open to having a chat, I guess. Yeah,
I think as well, if you're seeing people doing things incorrectly on the gym floor, this is like, it's always, is it Joey Swole? Who's like Joey Swole? Am I right? Does anyone know?
Yeah, Joey Swole.
Yeah.
He does all the videos for people. Yeah.
That name shame people and shame people in the gym. Like he's dead fucking right. Like you should not be shaming people who are doing things incorrectly. But the thing is, a lot of people don't know how to approach correctly the right way to communicate how to help them. So again, you just doing a training session in the gym, and we're all here. We're all in shape. Yeah, like we all train. So we train, right? You guys more shape than I'm in. But anyway, what you want to do is simple. When you see someone who potentially looks like they need help, go over to them and just say, hey, you want to make your movement better, right? I'll give you 2 quick tips. Try it out, right? And if they like it, and just spend 2 seconds with them, do it. And if they love that, just so I can give you more of where this came from if you want to. We'll have a look at some more movements, analyze your form and technique. If you want to, I can do that for you, no problem. But I'm training too myself, so I'm going to get back to it. Do you want to catch up at some point? Yeah, cool. Book them in. There's a consult. Like, simple, just from being present in the gym. Again, it's how to communicate it, and you got to think as well, guys. I'm not going too deep, but all these people that are in the gym that really have no idea of a starting point, it's quite an intimidating place, a gym, you know. So you want to obviously be there for them for the right reasons, and it will benefit the business. Anything else, guys? Like presence, what you do?
Ever heard of the shit sandwich?
I can't say I have heard of the shit. No.
Shit sandwich. It's how you approach people in the gym if you want to help them with something. It's people can take it the wrong way. Say, hey, blah, 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 you're doing this. Let's make it better. Like, oh, okay, this guy's judging me. Shit sandwich, something nice. Then obviously the shit, tell them what they can do better, and then something nice again to end. So, hey, I can see you're training chest. You're looking good. Man, I give you a tip. Let's blah, blah, blah. Cool. All right, you're doing really well. I see you in the gym. Keep it up. You're going to get great results. Bang. Something good, something shit, something good.
Love that.
Shit sandwich.
That's the name of this webinar. This webinar is going to be called the shit sandwich, episode number, whatever, the shit sandwich. That's freaking good though. Again, find common ground initially, right? I've seen you training here in the gym. I see you train from time to time. I'm training too, but I got a tip for you on your bench. Do you want to hear it? What are they going to say? No, fuck off. They're not going to say that. They're not going to do that. They're going to say, yeah, cool, why not? So then you go through the shit with them, right? So this is what you're doing wrong. This could be improved, X, Y, Z, and then, you know, finalize it. Do you want some more tips? I'll give you some. Let's do a session together sometime. Sounds good? Awesome. Finish it with gold. Like it. The shit sandwich, guys. If you learn one thing today, you've learned the shit sandwich. Like it, mate. Thank you, mate. Anyone else about what to do? But presence is everything. You've got to be there. My mentors initially that motivated me and inspired me to become a PT said that the thing that got them off the ground was just be in the gym every day. Be there. Like, your business can't grow, or you can't be seen. People can't ask questions if you're not there. Think about it like that. So be there, be present, right? But also,
I've found that like hanging around near the, if you're, I'm not sure how everyone else's gym set up, but if your gym has sort of table or chairs or anything set up near the entrance, just saying hi to people, asking how their training was going as they're leaving the gym. They're a lot more receptive as they're leaving and after a training session than on the way in.
Yeah.
And then just chat, talk shit to people. Like, how's your training? What have you been training? What are you working towards? And then like not even trying, like I won't even be trying to book people in for consults or anything, just like finding out who they are, finding out about what they're trying to get out of it. And then like the amount of people that after a conversation will be like, hey, like, can I book in with you or do something? It's just, yeah, but like near the entrance, you can hang out near the entrance and then catch people on their way out. Find they're a lot more receptive to talking and that sort of thing too.
100% right, that one. 100% right. And again, they'll ask you for a consult, right? Rather than you having to put them in. So yeah, Blake, what do you got to do?
Yeah, I was going to say, this is something that I wasn't implementing at the start before I started working with Simon, but something I've kind of like forgotten about, but I'm going to bring it up again. One of them was every day introducing myself to someone I don't know in the gym and trying to remember their name. And that way, every time I see them, I can speak to them by name. Because I was reading a book called How to Influence and Influence People. I've got it, reading it twice now. But one of the things in there is that the sweetest words to anyone is their own name, because they love it.
Yeah.
So if you know them by name, you always speak to them by name. They're like, this guy, I like him, basically. And then on top of that, just things like if someone is going for a max bench press, I just ask them if they want a spot, give them a bit of tips. And if they go for a PR, then I can say that's good to me. But yeah, it's one of those things. Any excuse to start chatting to people.
I love it. Honestly, man, spot on. Zach, you got a question, bro?
No, I was just going to add, if you're looking for clients, run the group fitness classes.
Yeah, love it.
Because basically it'll just put you in front of 15, 20 people, and it's like half an hour or whatever. And like there's one of the other PTs here, and he's just that's how he's got like loads of his clients. because they get to know him, know his face, know his name, stuff like that.
That's a great tip, Zach. That, and like for me, I did that as well. It's like, ironically, the girls that I used to train, it was like a really good tight knit community of girls. I tried the upsell process to them. No one like bought it, like at all. Like, and this is the only downside. People that get stuff like that from, especially in good lives, like where Zach's at, where there's a lot of group fitness classes present. Obviously, you got here like a lot of trainers from lots of different gyms. So you got Kara's, Snap, at Anytime, Jack, Derrimut, here with Nath, and obviously Erin. Like, some of these gyms don't offer it, but if they do, be present. It's great to, again, meet more people in a place where they're actually going to be training with you, and then you can obviously chat to them. If anyone does do that, by the way, and you want the strategy of how to get them to convert for consults, then just let me know, because it's very, very easy. It's very, very easy. And it's quite self-explanatory, but yeah, it's a great little additional way. So I think these are all great ways, guys. Again, beginning stage clients to bolster your growth and make the right use of your time. Is that a hand blade or no? So awesome. So hopefully that helps, man. Like, but again, put your energy into growth tasks, and obviously you need growth tasks. If you need them, come to me. But yeah. There's not really much else to it. Like, focus more energy. It will feel like you're scratching your hands, or scratching your head. But I always say as well, it's only a matter of time before you're going to wish you had that amount of spare time, you know, because you're busy. So yeah, hopefully that helps. Questions, guys? Anything else in the business? Today's a Q&A. Like I was saying, I'll put some extra questions or topics for discussion in the group next week. Questions about anything at all?
Do you know of any courses or any like anything to help with basic video editing and creating content and that sort of stuff, just to make the videos look smooth? And no?
Ask Alex. He's good.
Yeah, sweet.
Alex is good. I went to Alex for some coaching recently on that stuff. I still haven't used it, bro. CapCut, I haven't even fucking downloaded it. I'm useless. Shit, I'm a shit client, bro. Sorry. Yeah, like, yeah, I would look, speak to Alex. I think, Alex, would you say with all the editing and stuff like that, once you give it a crack, you download the app and you actually do what I haven't done, you actually go through the motions, it becomes like second nature. It's not actually that hard to use, and it's quite user friendly.
To be honest, I'm still learning myself. Like, I've been doing it a long time now, and I'm still learning. Like I said, I want to start making my own programs online as a, I guess, a downsell or upsell sort of thing. But using quality video editing tools, like, invest in that. Your phone's really good. Like, my phone's a 12 Pro, I think. Yeah. And it's really good, but it's not as good as a Canon, like a proper 4K thing. If you're looking at doing programs and cutting it up, I would say the best ones, like if you're going to have a professional, is to make sure that it's smooth. And like, you know, when you jump onto Simon's one, like, it's proper. And even if he stuffs up here, there, and everywhere, he rolls it off. So it's sort of like role playing as well. You have to start getting into that emotion, and you have to start becoming an actor in a way, eh? So it's like you're sort of learning a new skill in a different way. When I first started, I was just shitting myself, like standing in front of the camera. Oh, hey guys, I still get like that, and it's pretty intense. Sometimes I've been an introvert my whole life, so it's always just to myself. Jump in the ring, I feel myself, you know. So it's like now it's like, shit, I'm out in the world. Fuck it, you know. Be confident. And then every time I jump in front of it now, I'm talking to someone I'm trying to heal. Basically, I'm trying to heal this person. So I have to, like, I guess finding your person that you're talking to really helps. And then, yeah, just with the editing side of it, like CapCut's really good for your phone if you're trying to do content, short-term or short-form content. If you're trying to do like professional stuff, then Final Cut Pro. I got that off, I think it was Matt. Yeah. So he said Final Cut Pro. I checked it out, and my cousin's a professional editor, and he was like, yeah, bro, that's one of the best. So Final Cut Pro is pretty good. Hopefully that helps, bro.
Sweet. Yeah, cheers, bro.
In content creation is always one on the tip of people's tongues. Like, what do you do for it? You know what I mean? when you're recording yourself, that's when, and you're doing informative videos, that's when the content gets hard, because otherwise it's very.
Can I add something?
Yes.
So if you're like me, because I also do some acting stuff and I need to have a script, you can download like teleprompters on your phone, and it like you can place it near the camera and you can just record yourself reading what you've written. So that's what I've been doing to my videos. I just read it instead of talking nonsense.
That's a really good tip. I used to record with a whiteboard next to me. I have this big whiteboard here, and I would like read it, but it was like slightly off, so it was like reading like this. You know what I mean? It was rather than looking at the camera. And I was like, fuck this shit. And it took me like 2 hours to do it. And I was like, what? You know, this is the thing you can go through, is like, I'm sure you've all done it before, where you try and do content. It takes you so long, right? And before you can master it. And it is like Alex said, it's like, you know, it's like reading an essay, and it's very, very tough content creation when you record yourself. But he's right as well. You got to have the right setup. Good phones though these days, guys, are good enough. You know, you have phones like Alex or anything, any more recent, it's a bonus. So it's good. But your social proof is key all the time. People will, because you got to think about it like this, right? People know you're a self-employed business owner. People don't like supporting small business, period. I don't care what anyone said, they don't. Anyone heard the quote that like, when there's a celebrity that sells something, people won't ask for a discount, they'll pay full price, they won't ask 2 questions about it. But as soon as it comes to buying something off a small business owner, they don't like it, they'll ask questions, and they always want a discount. It's so true. People don't like supporting small business. So as soon as you put something up about you, right, about you, and it's you, they'll just, a lot of people, and it's jealousy and envy a lot of the time, guys, they won't engage with it. But if you have other people singing your praises, because singing your own praises doesn't look good. And that's why I never post like, oh yeah, look at this journey that this client got. They did amazing. I'd rather just have the person say it themselves. And it's better content that way. Hopefully that makes sense. Anything else, guys? Keep it rolling. I had a bit of a, go on, who is that? Someone?
Oh yeah, it's me again. Yeah. It was one I actually said to a boxer about, I think I may as well ask you since I'm on here. It was about how hard to push counting calories on clients, because some of them are quite resistant to the idea. I've been doing other things, sort of making changes in their nutrition, like things like adding more water, dropping the amount of carbs in their foods, increasing low-calorie veg, increasing protein. Things like that have been very resistant to the calorie counting, but I'm thinking, should I just be saying like, this is a non-negotiable, you have to count your calories, and like that's one thing we're going to do, and if you don't do it, then you're not going to get the results. I'm trying to figure out how hard I should be pushing the clients to do this sort of thing.
So this is a good point. I'll give you a bit of a rundown, and then we'll ask some other people about this. The most important thing that you have to do if you're going to push calorie counting on people is you have to provide them with training on how to do it. You have to do that. The first thing you have to do. Most people will not like it. They won't like weighing their food. They won't like freaking getting their app out and logging it. Oh, it's too hard. I don't have time for that. And you do. You just got to prioritize it. It's as simple as that. And if you want results, you have to log your food. I'm super biased towards it. I don't know if there's, I have one client who isn't at all, but I know that most people will agree that you've got to track, because it's all numbers. Everything is numbers. Track what goes in, what goes out, get yourself in a deficit surplus. It's very easy. Tracking is obviously the way to do that. If people are resistant and you've got the training, right? And this also goes back to what we said last week about Charmaine mentioned about, you know, that motivational video, especially for online trainers. This is huge because there's no face-to-face accountability or face-to-face opportunity for them to be taught or told and guided by you. Right? It's a prime example of a personal training session that's not physical. If someone can't log their food, I'm not training them, period. Right? But back then, 7 years ago, I didn't have detailed training that they could take away and go through in their own time, but I'd stop them and educate them on how to do it. If they're educated and you then communicate with this pre-framing video we talk about, What do we call the one that we try to put together this week, Charmaine? The motivational Kickstarter.
Motivational Kickstarter video.
Yeah, so me and Charmaine this week we're working on something called a motivational Kickstarter, because we find that Charmaine, where she is, there's a lot of like excuses, and it's because of just the environment of where she's based. She lives in a very chilled out part of the country where people like to choose excuses rather than action, right? And it sounds horrible, but it is the truth. It's the fucking truth. I don't care. Motivational Kickstarter. So when you onboard clients, you basically show them a video, which we discussed in last week, which was, I'm with you every step of the way. I've been there, done it, and got the t-shirt. We've done it also with these people. Use CapCut, edit some before and afters in there if you wanted to, right? Whatever. And say, the only thing that's going to make you fail is if you quit. All right? We're not quitters here, we're winners. So let's get to work. Do you know what I mean? Ash, no problem on that. So do you know that sort of thing, a video to kickstart them that will then make them take action with the training you have with MyFitnessPal to then get them to actually log. So hopefully that's a good way to open this up. Tammy, what you got?
I'm going to be a little bit controversial because I'm one of those people that don't like to calorie count. No, you had it. I'm all honestly, I don't not believe in calorie counting. Of course, it works. It's science, like you explained. I just don't think, especially for someone like me, I could never calorie count. It would drive me absolutely mad. I'd feel really like conscious about like, oh wait, that's a few extra calories. I can't do that. I've been really shit today, etc. So I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying maybe you can do it for those that want to. But something I do with my clients is I'll get them to run me through an average day. And then I'll be like, okay, this week we're going to implement one thing that I've noticed is I think you should implement this into the diet. So like, let's say they've had, like, they literally don't drink water. I have a client that drinks no water and I don't understand. But anyway, so that's like, that would be their first thing for the week. And we track it. I might check in on them. I check in definitely the following week when I see them next time. Then the next thing might be, okay, every morning they're having like a stack of pancakes. I'll be like, okay, can we maybe have, instead of 3 pancakes, we might have 2, and we'll add like a dollop of yogurt or something to increase their protein intake. Just small things, because I find that most of the people that we do see, at least general population kind of people, eat crap. They don't eat good diets, at least not what we would normally eat. Like, we would never think of not putting protein in a meal, I assume, most of us, but people don't even know what protein is half the time. Like, I sometimes speak to people about protein, they're like, oh, but isn't that enough? I'm like, you haven't even had like a quarter of your daily intake. Like, they don't understand. So I just find calorie counting, yes, it's science, but it's not necessarily educating them. So like this week, I know I'm going on a spiel, but this week I got one of my clients, she's been eating out a lot, sometimes with work and everything. And I say, okay, I want you to tell me 3 cuisines that you might go to. Look at the menu, like a general menu, and tell me 2 healthy options on that menu. And it's just educating her, because otherwise she just has people have no idea. Anyway, that's my 2 cents.
That there is freaking phenomenal, right? Well said. I'm not joking. And it's actually made me go back in time. I used to do that, right? So here's one thing I will say, and I'm in Tammy's corner here for this, right? It might not be the right time to put people straight into the deep end of this overwhelming education of calories and numbers and training and shit like that. Start people off by, okay, cool, let's remove, like, if you've got people that, like Tammy said, and unfortunately guys, but fortunately for our businesses, because there's always going to be clients needing us, which is a good thing, right, as PTs. People eat so bad. Australia technically I think Australia is the most overweight country in the world, ahead of America now. Not obese, but overweight. If you actually ever go out, right? Anyway, especially people in Melbourne anyway, because they're the same people I'm seeing. You have a look at how many people are overweight, right? It's freaking phenomenal. These people, like Tammy said, they're eating so bad that you cannot just change the rule book and do a full 180. You can't do that. And this is exactly right. I think, by taking 4 fast foods and cutting it to 3.5, right, first, is a prime example of what will get people the same results as logging food, but they'll minimalize the calories that they're eating. But you're going about it in a clever way that you don't use calorie counting to ensure that they are actually moving closer towards progression and progressing towards their goals. That's really well said. Tam. I'm really, really glad that you interrupted, and rather than me being a boss about macronutrients and forcing that down people, you actually cut that off, because it's true. You don't need it. So Blade, does that help? And what are your questions next after the training stuff and then Tammy's stuff?
Yeah, well, that is sort of the kind of stuff I've been doing. Like, I had one of my clients whose wife basically cooks all the meals at home, and he says he gets a fair bit of food, but what he's been doing himself off his own back now is he basically, when he's at work, he doesn't eat now. He just drinks water throughout his entire shift. He works as a nurse, so that's a 12-hour shift, and he has like maybe a boiled egg before that, but then he has some food afterwards. And we've just been working on these nutritional changes, but that whole just drinking water at work, that's off his own back. But because of the fact that his wife does all the cooking and like they don't really track that sort of thing, it's more difficult for him to do it because he doesn't do the cooking. So we've made those nutritional changes, getting him to drink more water. I've got him to up to half a gallon now a day. We're slowly bumping it up, but these things are just helping. And you see, he's dropped about 2 kilos since our last session, which was, we do once a week sessions. So he's dropped just over 2 kilos since the last one. So it's going well at the moment.
Yeah, spot on. And it's because of the accountability you're giving him, and keep tracking. And always then what I do is forecast forward and just say, cool, next week, same thing, let's do this. We're not changing a thing here, right? Do you know what I mean? Because those are the types of people that will go, oh, this is working, I'll just quit now. Sweet, this is all I'm ever going to need. Do you know what I mean? But again, that's amazing. I think to elaborate what Tammy said as well, like, get people to a stage where, again, they go from 4 cheat meals a week or 4 shit meals or 4 nights worth of shit, whatever, to 3.5, to 3, to 2.5, to 2, to 2.25. Eventually you can get to a point where then, I don't care, this is personally gospel, counting calories and macronutrients and stuff like that for advanced people that want to get in phenomenal shape, for me, is essential, right? So not Gen Pop. So when you get them from Gen Pop towards a more, okay, they're getting stronger, they're fitter, they're healthier because they've worked with Tammy and all of her tips has worked freaking amazing. Then you can go, would you like me now to educate you as to why that's happened, right? Why you've done that? Why, like, or if people just can't understand why they're putting weight on like a train, would you like me to help you understand why that is? Yes, I beg to see that. So cool. Then you can educate them around it bit by bit. I think the main thing Tammy said is, everyone's different, and general population, they're probably not ready for macronutrient coaching. She's 100% right. And I think it's about communicating with them in a way where the timing might be right to then educate them with the advanced stuff. So yeah, well done. That was good. Hopefully, yeah, that makes sense. Charmaine, what do you got to add to that?
Another thing a fair few clients have been asking of late is when they are calorie counting, they're kind of confused as in regards to the serving size of things. So for like their protein, they're like, okay, like how much chicken do I have? Like what's normal? So giving them like a bit of a cheat sheet, maybe like say, okay, maybe between 100 grams to 150 grams of like cooked chicken breast, right? And then when you're having your carbs like rice, pasta and things like that, maybe again between your 100 grams to 150, just so they have like a ballpark figure, because they have no idea. So it makes it really difficult.
That's true. That's very true. My wife, when she competed, right, I always asked the question. I was like, why did they never educate with nutrition? And I don't know whether it's because they didn't want to fully educate the client as to why they were getting in shape, or to take away confusion, like you said, because they have no idea, right? But all they said was to eat, you know, a chicken breast, and it would be cups, right? 2 cups of sweet potato, 1 cup of broccoli, right? 6 meals a day, blah, blah, blah. I was like, where's the numbers? Because I'm a really number-driven person. That's why I love nutrition when it comes to calories, and it worked for me. It worked really well when you stick to it. So I think, yeah, it's one of those ones you can just advise people really to, you know, go cups, because then you have like people like, you know, what's 150 grams? Well, you're going to get eventually to the point where you tell them to get the scales out. I don't know. I don't want to do that, you know. Well, like, you know, so use cups and different measures and stuff. At the end of the day, as long as you're progressing your clients and their nutritional education, and most importantly, getting them to make healthy changes with their nutrition, they're going to get results. When they get results, they're going to thank you, even though it's on them. you know, and they will stick around with you. And this is why it's essential, whether you take a Tammy approach and an old Simon approach of what I used to do, or whether we take a macronutrient approach, do it. You've got to do nutrition at some point, otherwise your retention will suffer. Zach, what do you got to do?
So the thing with like calorie counting and macro counting and stuff like that is like people are so resistant to it because they think they're going to have to do it forever.
Yes.
So if you can impress upon your clients like, hey, look, it's a little bit tedious for the time being, but maybe just do it for sort of 6 months until your brain can talk to your eyeballs to visualize how much is X amount of grams of chicken or X amount of grams of carbs or whatever. And then over time, if you're consistent with it, you won't have to keep weighing shit and you will just be able to eyeball it.
100%, and especially if they're eating clean, that's very, very great. A great point. And you say 6 months would make someone really do an overhaul. Like, I mean, fucking all of us here. If you've been in the industry for 10 years, you've probably been doing it for 10 years. I mean, for me, it'd be around 6 or 7 or 8 years worth or whatever. Like the main thing is that you can highlight to them, this is not a permanent thing. It's educational for you to see what you're putting in your mouth in terms of what it's made up of. And they'll have a lot of like, oh my God moments and stuff like that. But yeah, that's very, very well said. It doesn't have to be done forever. I don't weigh stuff now.
Yeah.
Not at all.
I was going to say for myself, I can't even remember the last time I've actually counted calories. I only do it if I'm really trying like hard, like dedicated to get lean. But otherwise, I can just adjust what I'm eating like off the cuff and I'll lose weight now because I've been doing it so long. Exactly.
Increase your output, decrease the intake, and you'll lean out. And as long as you're consistent, you're not like me where every weekend I put 4 kilos on, and then I have to lose it again. But no, it's consistency is key. Do you know what I mean? And you know, simple as that. This is good talks, guys. This because it's very valuable and it's a very different ways for people to educate their clientele with nutrition.
You got to meet them where they're at. So I've got one client that won't calorie count because she lives with a sister and the sister had anorexia and ended up in hospital a few times with it, so she won't calorie count at all. So we use the clock technique with her.
Yeah.
If you know about the clock technique with your food, with your plate. So you just break your plate up. So 9 o'clock, your starchy carbs, breaking your proteins and your leafy greens, and she's always lean.
Yeah. 100%.
Doesn't count a thing.
Whatever works, isn't it? Whatever works for the individual, like, you know. 100%, guys. No, it's good talks, and that's another good one. Start with that one, Michael. You know what I mean? That's sort of a Tammy esque approach as well. Like, do that. Do you know what I mean? Don't need to know what it is. Like, just start them there, but advance them into other education. What's that, Ray?
So I was just thinking, like with the calorie counting, just going back to that, people that want to do MyFitnessPal, should we like make it as a priority that we do that training video so that they're so make that okay.
If you go into stage, I'll just find it for you. Anyone know off the top of their head where it is, the MyFitnessPal training tutorial video? Anyone know? I think it's in stage 2, and it is macronutrient coaching for your clients. It's called.
Yeah, like I mean, like should we have do a training ourselves to give a video to give them, like make that a priority?
100%. But this is what this is. So
based on that,
I'll give you an example of one to make. I think this is it. Yeah, so I do like a screen share of a phone.
Oh yes.
Train people from start to finish on what to do. And then obviously there's a bit of education around that as well. That's in stage 2. It's nutrition / macronutrient coaching done right. That's what it's called. That will give you an idea of what to record for your clients. Tell them how to set it up and stuff like that. But again, you got to do this with the right people that are ready and people that are at that level. Again, if you forecast this out with people and say, look, what we're going to do is start your nutrition. I'm not going to chuck you into the deep end. What I want you to do though is we want you to minimize here and here, and we'll see the results on the scales, right? You know, tell them that if they do make the changes, they'll see the results. If they don't, you'll know that they're lying.
At our gym, we've got like a high demographic of Indians. So when they come in, they eat certain foods that I do not eat myself, obviously. So, you know, even doing the plate technique with them, I'm going to have to really learn that, because the MyFitnessPal is just totally over their heads.
Yeah.
I generally speaking, obviously, because if they've not trained, that's the kind of people I'm sort of coming to me. They haven't trained or done anything with their nutrition before ever. So that's just something I'll have to work out with MyFitnessPal myself, and then try and do a plate thing. So I've seen the sizes of some people's plates, and they're huge. So
and theirs isn't what Michael said. What was it? When you say food wheel, was it Michael?
yes.
Theirs is freaking 50-50 carb and fat, basically. Like, it's not with minimal protein or with lumps of some sort of chicken and stuff, you know. But it's huge calories. It's so hard to get. I ended up doing really well with a couple. We had a not very Indian dominant clientele base in one of the gyms, but it was a few. I got really good results with one, but it was through cutting back, because they just overeat. It's a lot of rotis, a lot of naans, like the yummy stuff, right? Making me hungry now. But yeah, it's like curries, naans, rice. It's just heaps of carbs and lots of fat as well. Like they don't realize how high the fat content is as well, you know, like it's quite high. And obviously with 9 calories per gram of fat, you have high fat, your calories get blown out and you're short on protein. This is why a lot of them are they're very cool. They're like skinny fat, but they're very skinny, but they have huge bellies, like, you know. So where do you want to lose weight? They want to lose belly fat. That's why I always remember they say belly fat needs to go. Belly fat needs to go. But yeah, again, you just got to do what you got to do. You got to work, start them off somewhere, and then progress through.
There's one thing I've been doing the last 3-4 weeks now, that the gym's actually running a 6-week challenge.
Yeah.
So I put a message out to my clients, say, okay, who wants to put their hand up and be held more accountable over the next 6 weeks? So I had about 20 of them go, okay, yeah, put us in. So every day I've created a chat group just for them. They have to put in that they've logged their food that day, that they've done their workouts and interacted in that chat group. And it's creating that community between my clients. And I did their halfway scans last Friday, and they've all dropped between 0.5 kilo to 2.5 kilos over 3 weeks, while their muscle mass has gone up. Like, one guy put on 2.2 kilos of muscle in 6 days on the body scan. I was just like, how the hell did you do that?
Yeah.
But it's created a lot more interaction, and the weight is just stripping off them. They're all starting to lean down big time. And we've still got 3 weeks to go.
It's funny what accountability will do to people, right?
Yeah. I've been doing it myself. They're seeing me log everything. All my workouts are going in that chat group. So, and if they miss a workout, they got to do a double.
Yeah, I love that. That's amazing. That's amazing. There'll be plenty of upsell opportunity on the back end of that, mate, for sure. That's actually a strategy that could be used, you know, like rather than giving away a prize or anything like that when we do our floor to the floor.
We're going to the pub at the end of it.
Say again?
We're going to the pub at the end of it.
Oh yeah, right.
Beer.
So you should.
Put the carrot out there for them.
Yeah, and you could, instead of offering a prize, you could offer, like, basically we're asking who, as a survey in the gym this week, who would like accountability, or who would want more accountability. Use that as a strategy. Yeah, I would. Cool. I basically gets people to admit with a show of hands of who wants more help in the gym, who needs it because they're basically slacking on their own. It's good. It's clever. Good nutritional chats, guys. Anything else that people want at all about anything, or are we good?
I've got a question.
Yes, Tan. Yeah.
I've got a client who's vegan, and whenever she tells me what she's been eating, because she's pretty unhappy with the slow, she's getting results, it's just pretty slow. And whenever I ask her what she's been eating, it's always food that doesn't seem to satisfy her, and it's not satiating enough. And so she finds that she's constantly just eating and eating. But I don't know, from what I've read, it's just the amount of protein in vegan food isn't enough for her. And so what do I say to her?
Supplements for me are the only way I've been able to get people to hit targets at vegetarian and vegan approach. It's the only way. Like, I mean, if you look at it, like, again, like, you know, or that's what she's asking, Zach. Yeah, how do you do it? She's saying, how can you increase the protein for vegans and stuff? Because you think of stuff like chickpeas, lentils, and all this, and I had loads of clients say, yeah, but I eat like a handful of mushrooms. That's my protein. It's like, oh my God, man, like
yeah, that's what she said to me as well.
Right, there you go.
Yeah.
Right? So this is the thing, and like mushrooms got protein. Well, so does broccoli. Yeah. Like, but we ain't cows. Like, I'm not gonna just sit and eat, like, do you know what I mean? No worries, Nate. Sit and eat so much of it. So personally, you've got to go supplements, because chickpeas and stuff, lentils and things that have protein, they also have massively high carb counts, and a lot of the time they have high fat counts too. So it's very easy to max out calories, and doing the whole vegan thing is freaking hard. It's pretty tough. I'd probably go with a vegan protein powder. It's the only way. Like anyone else got tips on that? Anyone? Zach, any advice on that? Or Charmaine, what do you got?
I would explain to her that she can't kind of just have mushrooms as a protein source alone. So when you're going vegan, you need to have 3 sources of protein, 3 different sources. Say, for example, mushrooms, rice, and chickpeas. They're different sources of protein, but you need them together.
Yeah.
For that to work. And then potentially maybe like look at her fats. Maybe she needs to have a little bit of fats to feel a little bit more satiated. If you're just kind of having carbohydrates, yes, it's protein, but it's pure carbs, so her body's just going to be chewing through that really quickly.
Yeah, especially because a lot of, look, vegan and vegetarian food, it's clean as hell, right? It's clean. So one of my best mates used to work, actually came over and he'd work with me. My best man for my wedding, phenomenal shape, this guy, right? Phenomenal shape. And basically this guy said to me, Sai, he's like, don't worry about what you're eating, because if it's clean, you'll get lean. Like, even if your calories are high, obviously not going from like 2,000 calories as a deficit is what I need to be in at the moment to go 4, right? You're not going to double it. But if that was all rice, sweet potato, chicken, right, and lean proteins, you're not going to get fat eating clean food. So, but it depends, you know, what else is with it. Clara, what do you got?
Yeah.
I was going to say I have a client. She's Indian and she's vegetarian.
Yeah.
So, and she wants to lose weight, but she has a lot of curries. So I got her to get protein powder, so she's been having that, and she loves bread. So and wraps. So I've told her she's been getting the high protein, low carb wraps and bread, and she's lost about 5 kilos within a few weeks. So.
Yeah. Perfect. Well done. Awesome results. They're also real good. I get those as well. Those I either get like a low carb or a high protein wrap. Like, there's many ways they can do it, but like Charmaine said, you've got to multiply different sources to actually hit a level of protein. If you just like cooking mushrooms and stuff, like, you're not going to get there. You know, like, you've got to make it more varied. So yeah, hopefully that helps. No problem, Michael. Anything else, guys? But that's good. I think this is a good nutritional chat. Next week, this is what I've got for you. I've chosen the topic already, the top 5 or best 5 apps to introduce into your business to get your clients better results. And a lot of these guys was one in particularly that you people like Sue and Tanya, who's just finished getting their steps in, is a great app. It's a great app to use. I did 40,000 steps on Monday, just FYI. I'm pretty proud of myself, but my feet are fucking killing me. They're killing me. They are killing. But yeah, there's a really good app. But 5 top apps to integrate into your business to get your clients better results and also create engagement as well. It's some good stuff. So if everyone's happy with that, that's next week. But apart from that, I'm happy. We're good. Any other question?
Well, actually, those apps, are they any of them iPhone only?
Nah, they're on both. These yeah, everyone needs to get my iPhone by next week.
Yeah, I'll have to go and buy another iPhone 5S like I used to have.
Yeah, no, they're not, mate. I'm not a fan of the old Androids, but trust me, these are on both, so don't worry. I'll try and do everything to make sure that it works for everybody, you know. Yeah. But when you do bulk blasts, you need an iPhone ideally, right? So, all right, guys, well done. Sue, we'll have